Hey guys, before this video gets started, I wanted to let you guys know that this is not my election night prediction. It's pretty much just a compilation of all of the states that you guys filled out on the Google form in my community tab. You can get updates for that by subscribing or going ahead and checking it out on my YouTube channel. And it had over 1,300 responses, so I thought that it was more than adequate enough in order for me to make an overall election night video out of it. You guys just pretty much just voted on which candidate you believed would win in each individual state, and this is the video for it. Good evening. Welcome to Election Night in America 2020. Tonight is November 3rd, 2020, and after a long, grueling Democratic primary season for Vice President Biden, he was nominated in the August convention, and Donald Trump, of course, vying for re-election as President of the United States of America. Let's take a look at our preferred candidate for president polling data. The margins have narrowed up in the recent days, with the last October surprise and the coronavirus being a #1 issue in America. Joe Biden leads Donald Trump by 4%. Senator Kamala Harris recently had a vice presidential debate performance in which many viewers decided that she had won over Vice President Mike Pence, but at the end of the day, this is the actual election. And in terms of the approval rating of President Trump at this point, he has a 41% approval rating with an overall net negative 13% nationwide, with coronavirus being the #1 issue, with his coronavirus handling approval rating hovering around 43%. It is now time for our 7 p.m. poll closings with 60 electoral votes at stake, 2 contested states, the states of Virginia and Georgia. Out of the state of Vermont, Joe Biden is the projected winner with its 3 electoral votes. In the state of Kentucky, solid Republican state, 8 electoral votes, Donald Trump is the projected winner. Donald Trump will also carry the state of South Carolina, 9 electoral votes. Currently, right now, Joe Biden is leading, but that is only because we have Democratic precincts reporting. Donald Trump will be the victor by the end of the evening. And out of Vice President Mike Pence's home state of Indiana, 11 electoral votes, Donald Trump is the projected winner. In the state of Virginia, currently too close to call, but Northern Virginia has yet to swing in. 48.7% for the vice president and 50% for President Trump. 13 electoral votes at stake, crucial to both campaigns. And the state of Georgia, Joe Biden contemplating having Stacey Abrams as his vice presidential nominee here, but the Democrats pretty much gave up this state by mid-September. 60 electoral votes, and Donald Trump pretty much has a lead at this point. And on the electoral map, Joe Biden has 3 electoral votes, and Donald Trump has 28. It is now time for our 7:30 p.m. poll closings, 38 electoral votes at stake with 2 swing states contested. West Virginia, 5 electoral votes, Donald Trump is the projected winner. No real surprise out of this state. In the state of North Carolina, 15 electoral votes, currently too close to call. The interesting thing about North Carolina is the last time Joe Biden was on a presidential ballot in 2008, Joe Biden and Barack Obama carried the state of North Carolina, but did not carry it in 2012. Right now, there's increased turnout amongst minority groups, but it may or may not be enough to put Joe Biden over the top in this state. In the state of Ohio, 18 electoral votes. No president for 5 decades now has won the election without the state of Ohio. 18 electoral votes. Right now, Joe Biden leads, which is a telling sign as to what might end up as the result at the end of the evening. Joe Biden remains at 3 electoral votes. Donald Trump advances forward to 35 electoral votes. It is now time for our 8 p.m. poll closings, 172 electoral votes, the biggest electoral batch of the evening, despite only having 4 contested states in the entire batch. In the state of Massachusetts, 11 electoral votes. Joe Biden is the projected winner. Based off presidential margin, Joe Biden wins by the largest margin out of any of the states that we have right now. In the state of Connecticut, 7 electoral votes. Joe Biden is the projected winner. Joe Biden will also carry the state of Rhode Island with its 4 electoral votes. There's interesting things going on there with the census, discussions of them losing an electoral vote for the 2024 election. In the state of Maryland, 10 electoral votes. Joe Biden is the projected winner here. Out of the state of Delaware, Joe Biden carries it with its 3 electoral votes, his home state, the state that he served as a senator from before becoming vice president in 2008, and the District of Columbia, 3 electoral votes. Joe Biden is the projected winner. Out of the state of Illinois, 20 electoral votes. Joe Biden is the projected winner, had a very solid primary victory here. No real contention from the rest of the Democratic Party. In the state of New Jersey, 14 electoral votes. Joe Biden is the projected winner. Joe Biden will also carry 3 out of the 4 electoral votes from the state of Maine. Maine and Nebraska are 2 states in the United States that divide their electoral votes based off a statewide winner and then by congressional district. Right now, Maine has 2 congressional districts congressional districts. The 2nd district is currently too close to call. Joe Biden currently leads in 3 out of the 4 electoral votes, enough for us to characterize him as the winner. In the state of Virginia, 13 electoral votes. Not so much a swing state this time around. A pretty solid victory, around 8% right now for Vice President Biden. He carries the state of Virginia with its 13 electoral votes. In this Tennessee, the volunteer state's 11 electoral votes. Donald Trump is the projected winner. Donald Trump will also carry the state of Alabama with its 9 electoral votes. No real surprise down in the South here. In the state of Missouri, 10 electoral votes. Donald Trump is the projected winner. Again, Democrats don't really contest a number of these states. The state of Mississippi, 6 electoral votes. Donald Trump is the projected winner. Donald Trump will also carry the state of Oklahoma, in which every single county in 2016 from the state of Oklahoma voted for Donald Trump. Very large victory for him here. 7 electoral votes. In the state of New Hampshire, it is currently too close to call. 54% right now for Joe Biden, 46% for Donald Trump. 4 electoral votes at stake. Not a lot, but really tells us how the direction of the country is going in presidential elections. In the state of Pennsylvania, Joe Biden's birth home state, currently leading with 20 electoral votes at stake. This is one of the states that Donald Trump flipped for the first time in around 3 decades in 2016. Donald Trump will prove to us whether or not he can carry this state yet again in 2020. In the state of Florida, 29 electoral votes, currently too close to call. Very, very contentious right here. Florida's 29 electoral votes are crucial to the Donald Trump campaign and the Joe Biden campaign. Going to be very interesting as to who wins this state. And in Maine's 2nd congressional district, right now, Donald Trump has a narrow lead with 1 out of 4 electoral votes at stake. Again, not super important, but a number of Obama-turned-Trump voters have switched back into the Biden column, but it may or may not be enough to put one of the candidates over the top at the end of the evening. On our current electoral map, Joe Biden officially takes the lead at 91 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 76. It is now time for our 8:30 p.m. poll closings from the state of Arkansas, one state totaling up to 6 electoral votes, and Donald Trump will carry the state of Arkansas with its 6 electoral votes. Again, a solid ruby red state, but out of the state of New Hampshire, a very early prediction, 4 electoral votes. Joe Biden is the projected winner. A pretty strong warning sign to the Trump campaign that Joe Biden is starting to reel in a number of swing states that were previously too close to call. On our electoral map, Joe Biden maintains his lead at 95 electoral votes, while Donald Trump has 82. It is now time for our 9 p.m. poll closings. A number of swing states, 156 electoral votes at stake, going up across the red wall here. The state of Kansas, 6 electoral votes. Donald Trump is the projected winner. Donald Trump will also carry the state of Nebraska, a state that I compare to the state of Maine in terms of its congressional district allocation. Essentially, they divide their electoral votes based off of, again, statewide vote and congressional district. Right now, Donald Trump has won the statewide vote along with 2 out of the 3 districts, meaning he wins a total of 4 out of 5 electoral votes at the hour. In the state of North Dakota, 3 electoral votes. Donald Trump is the projected winner. Donald Trump will also carry the state of South Dakota with its 3 electoral votes. In the state of Wyoming, 3 electoral votes. Donald Trump, the projected winner, pretty much finishing that part of the Central America. In the state of Louisiana, 8 electoral votes. Donald Trump is the projected winner. In the state of New York, Donald Trump's home state, 29 electoral votes. Joe Biden will carry this state for the Democrats. In the state of New Mexico, again, a swing state, but not at the same time, 5 electoral votes. Joe Biden will carry the state of New Mexico by larger than 10%. And Colorado joins the bunch in being a swing state that is pretty much a swing state in name only. In terms of its voting block right now, they give Joe Biden roughly a 7-point lead over Donald Trump, enough for us to characterize their 9 electoral votes to the Biden campaign. In the state of Minnesota, 10 electoral votes, a state Hillary Clinton narrowly carried in 2016 by merely 2%. Joe Biden is now the victor for the 2020 presidential election in Minnesota, 10 electoral votes. In the state of Michigan, 2 close to call, 16 electoral votes right now. Joe Biden has a lead over Donald Trump. A number of outstanding counties, around 50% of the votes remains. Right now, Joe Biden has a lead. In the state of Wisconsin, an exact tie, 10 electoral votes. One of the closest states in the 2016 presidential election ended up going for Donald Trump after 2 decades. Donald Trump won the state of Wisconsin in 2016. We needed to figure out if he's going to win this time around. In the state of Arizona, 11 electoral votes, Joe Biden surprisingly leads. The last time this state went to a Democrat was in 1996 under President Bill Clinton. Joe Biden right now running up the numbers at 50.2% to Donald Trump at 48.8%. Really wasn't contested 8 years ago when Joe Biden was last on the presidential ballot. 11 electoral votes at stake. In the state of Texas, 38 electoral votes, Donald Trump with a commanding lead over Vice President Biden. Democrats tried to contest this in both the Senate, which we've already called for the Republicans, and in the presidential election, which it looks like it might end up with a Trump victory at the end of the evening, but it is currently too close to call. And in the state of Nebraska, the 2nd congressional district is within a very narrow margin despite the House race going to the GOP candidate already. Joe Biden right now narrowly behind Donald Trump in Nebraska's 2nd district. And on the current electoral map, Joe Biden has 148 electoral votes to Donald Trump at 109. It is now 10 p.m. Eastern Time with 21 electoral votes at stake with 3 swing states right now, with a surprise in the state of Utah. Out of the state of Montana, Donald Trump is the projected winner with its 3 electoral votes. In the state of Ohio, the battleground state of Ohio's 18 electoral votes, Donald Trump is the projected winner. In over 5 decades, no president has been elected without winning the state of Ohio. 18 electoral votes, Donald Trump wins this crucial state for a Republican victory in 2020. In the state of Texas, 38 electoral votes, equivalent to the Republican Party's California, which has narrowed down in recent election years. Donald Trump, at the end of the day, is the winner in the state of Texas, 38 electoral votes. And in the state of Maine, Maine's 2nd congressional district splits from the rest of the state. 1 out of the 4 electoral votes in Maine will go to Donald Trump, and 3 out of the 4 will go to Vice President Biden. In the state of Pennsylvania, 20 electoral votes, Joe Biden is the projected winner. This is a big state because it was flipped from red to blue. This is a state that Donald Trump flipped after around 3 decades of Democrats winning here consecutively in presidential elections. In 2016, Joe Biden brings it back to the Democratic column in 2020. He was born in this state, was crucial to Obama's victories here in 2008 and 2012. 20 electoral votes, Joe Biden is the projected winner. In the state of Nevada, it is currently too close to call. Joe Biden with a pretty strong lead, 6 electoral votes at stake. And in the state of Iowa, 6 electoral votes. Donald Trump has a lead here, 1 here larger than he won by in the state of Texas in 2016. In the state of Iowa, 6 electoral votes at stake. And in the state of Utah, though Mitt Romney did not formally announce a presidential election campaign, there are a number of voters here writing him in, enough to make this state contentious right now. Mitt Romney has 12% of the vote, Donald Trump has 50%, and Joe Biden has 38%, very similar to the effect of Evan McMullin back in 2016. On the electoral map, Joe Biden is now behind Donald Trump at 168 electoral votes, and President Trump has 169. It is now time for the 11 p.m. poll closings with 82 electoral votes at stake, a number of state calls at the hour too. The state of California, 55 electoral votes. Joe Biden is the projected winner. He will win this very large and crucial state for the Democrats. The state of Washington, 12 electoral votes. Joe Biden is the projected winner. That narrow primary seems a long time ago. The state of Oregon, 7 electoral votes. Joe Biden is the projected winner. Joe Biden will also carry the state of Hawaii with its 4 electoral votes, all of these solid Democratic states. And in the state of Nevada, previously too close to call, now being called for Joe Biden, 6 electoral votes. He will win that state. In the state of Idaho, Donald Trump is the projected winner with its 4 electoral votes. And in the state of Utah, as we previously showed you the numbers, right now, Donald Trump will win the state of Utah, 6 electoral votes. In the state of North Carolina, 15 electoral votes. Donald Trump is the projected winner. This must be a sad call for the Biden campaign, considering they spent a very large sum of time in the state of North Carolina, spending millions of dollars on political campaign ads, all for it to go to the Republicans yet again after 4 years. In the state of Nebraska, 1 out of the 5 electoral votes will go to Donald Trump. Nebraska's 2nd congressional district has officially voted for the president. In the state of Georgia, 16 electoral votes. Donald Trump is the projected winner. Again, the Joe Biden campaign spent a lot of time in North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. Georgia right now, Donald Trump is the projected winner. And as I just mentioned, the state of Florida, 29 electoral votes. It seems the president is raking in countless victories at this hour. Florida, 29 electoral votes. Donald Trump will win the Sunshine State. of Florida. And in the state of Iowa, 6 electoral votes, previously too close to call. Donald Trump will win this state again by around 6%, narrower but a sure victory, which puts Donald Trump at 246 electoral votes and Joe Biden at 252. A very close race that seems to be narrowing down to 3 states: Wisconsin, Michigan, and Arizona. We now have some state calls at 12 a.m. Eastern Time. The next day, 26 electoral votes from the states of Wisconsin and Michigan. Out of the state of Michigan, 16 electoral votes. Joe Biden is the projected winner. Huge win for the Biden campaign. Yet again, another state flipped from red to blue from 2016. And in the state of Wisconsin, Joe Biden will carry the state of Wisconsin with its 10 electoral votes. Joe Biden wins here, enough to put him over the top at 278 electoral votes. 270 are needed to win the presidency, which means that Joe Biden will be elected President of the United States of America. Him and Senator Kamala Harris will be entering into the White House in January 2021. Joe Biden, who served as vice president under the 44th president, goes on to be the 46th President of the United States. President-elect Biden is expected to make his victory speech sometime within the hour. It is now 1 a.m. Eastern Time, 3 electoral votes from the state of Alaska and a state call from the state of Arizona, one that we've been waiting on for a long time. Alaska, 3 electoral votes, and Donald Trump will carry this state. No surprise out of Alaska, but out of the state of Arizona, this is a huge win for the Democratic Party. Winning here for the first time in 24 years. Joe Biden flips the state of Arizona from red to blue. 11 electoral votes that add on to his victory over President Trump this evening. Right now, the final electoral numbers: 289 electoral votes, 19 more needed than the 270 needed to win the presidency, compared to Donald Trump at 249. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Again, this was a subscriber-decided election night, which means that you guys decided the outcome of these races. I may end up actually doing a full subscriber-decided election night sometime in the near future. Again, those videos do take a long time. A little update on that: I will be producing that sometime soon. I'll drop a trailer for it with either today or tomorrow. If you're wondering the state-by-state results as to how many people believe that Joe Biden would win Michigan or Donald Trump would win Florida, I'll release those results tonight, and I'll just go over them and pretty much just discuss them, because there's a very clear trend and it matches a lot of what I've been saying in my videos, which I think is very interesting. Go ahead and check out my Twitter and my Instagram if you want to follow me on social media or send me a direct message. Whatever, comment suggestions down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all tomorrow.